Awuk cake from Bandung. Cultural meaning: awuk is more than just a dessert, represent togetherness in Indonesian culture. This food is often served at traditional events and made by mutual cooperation, symbolizing unity and gratitude, especially because of its shape that resembles a tumpeng. Its distinctive concept is reminiscent of the traditional tumpeng as a symbol of gratitude and togetherness. Taste and texture: awuk has a soft and slightly crumbly rice flour base, filled with sweet caramel-like palm sugar, then sprinkled with grated coconut that give a creamy touch. If you use pandan leaf, it will have a soft aroma that enriches the overall taste experience. Benefit of awuk cake: it is healthy snack as it uses natural ingredients such as rice flour and palm sugar. The combination of rice flour and grated coconut makes it a good source of carbohydrate and fiber. Its preparation is simple, requiring no artificial additive or preservative. Ingredients of awuk cake: 1. Rice flour 300 grams, palm sugar grated 200 grams, grated coconut 100 grams, pandan leaf optional for aroma, a pint of salt. Estimate price of awuk cake: estimate cost and portion size with the estimated cost of Indonesian rupiah. Total cost Indonesian rupiah 25,000 for ingredients. You can produce around 4 until 6 portions. How to make it of awuk cake: 1. Prepare the mold, usually cone-shaped like a tumpeng, and likely grease it to avoid sticking. 2. Layer the ingredients. Start with a layer of rice flour, followed by a generous amount of grated palm sugar, and top with the more rice flour. Repeat the layering until the mold is full. 3. Steam the cake. Place the mold in a steamer and steam it for around 30 until 45 minutes until fully cooked. Serve one steamed. Unmold the cake and sprinkle with grated coconut on top. It's best served warm.
Lupis from Jakarta. Lupis cake is a traditional snack made from glutinous rice, known for its soft and chewy texture. These cakes are usually triangular or oval in shape and are served with melted brown sugar and dried coconut, creating a combination of sweet and savory flavors. Lupis cake is not only a snack, but only a symbol of togetherness and unity in Japanese culture. This cake has been around since the Dutch colonial era. Over time, Lupis cake has developed into one of the famous specialty confectionery in various regions on the island of Java, such as Jakarta, Lumajang, and Pekalongan. Lupis is best eaten while still warm, served with sugar sauce and grated coconut. However, there are some people who also enjoy lupis cold. Benefit: lupis has good nutritional content. Even though it is categorized as a snack, each 100 grams of lupis contain 119 milligrams of calcium, 164 kilocalories of energy, and 34.5 grams of carbohydrates. This shows that the energy and calcium content in lupis is quite high. This calcium content can maintain blood pressure, improve and maintain bone health, prevent obesity, strengthen tooth growth, and natural sedative that calm the nervous system. Ingredients: 750 grams or 1 liter of glutinous rice, 1 to 2 tablespoons betel lime water, banana leaves, 100 grams of half-aged coconut, 1/2 teaspoons salt, 250 grams of brown sugar, 50 grams of granulated sugar, 150 ml water, and 1 pandan leaf. Estimate price: glutinous rice lupis filled with 3 pieces is sold and priced starting from 10,000 rupiah. How to make it: boil all the brown sugar sauce ingredients until boiling and dissolve. Remove and strain, let it boil. Stir glutinous rice with betel lime water until smooth. Give it clean water and let it soak for 1 hour and then drain. Take 2 pieces of banana leaves from a cone, fill with 3 tablespoons of glutinous rice. Flood and pin the bottom until it is triangular. Boil in enough water for 2 hours until soft. Remove and cool. Stir the grated coconut with salt and then and steam. Open the lupis wrapper, coat with grated coconut until smooth. Seal it with brown sugar sauce.
Geplak is a traditional fruit from Bandung, Yogyakarta, from grated coconut and brown sugar or granulated sugar with a product as sweet and sweet taste. Geplak has a round shape and is often colorful with variant of flavors such as pandan, strawberry, and durian. The name geplak comes from the way the dough is made, which is geplak or paste when formed. Benefit geplak. Based on data from the Indonesian Ministry of Health, every 100 gram of geplak contain 0.12 mg thiamine, which can prevent stress and mountain and improve mood. 2.1 mg of iron, which can overcome and minimize the occurrence of anemia, and 151 mg of calcium, which can encourage bone growth. Ingredients: 100 gram rice flour, 125 gram grated coconut, 125 gram granulated sugar, a quarter teaspoon salt, 35 ml water, food coloring or flavor base in red, yellow, green, and brown. Estimate price: one box contains 500 grams starting from Indonesian rupiah 25,000 rupiah. How to make it? First, roast the rice flour over low heat until it is completely dry, like shape acid. Second, roast the grated coconut also over low heat until dry, it smells good. Third, make the roast grated coconut into the rice flour, stir until well mixed. Roast again until completely cooked. Set aside. 4. In another container, put granulated sugar, salt, and water until the sugar dissolves. Pour liter by liter into the flour and coconut mixture. 5. After mixing well, divide the dough into the container that have been given coloring and paste. Add the red one uses as yogurt paste, and the green one uses pandan paste, the yellow and uses young-food paste. Stir again and cook again until dry. Cook per color. 6. Pour into the container after it is warm. Take a little and make it into balls. Let it cool. 7. After it is cold and set, it can be served in middle.
Rangi cake from Jakarta. Rangi cake, also called sago rangi, is one of the traditional Betawi cake originating from Jakarta. This cake is made from a mixture of starch and grated coconut, which is baked in a special mold on a small stove and covered so that it cooks quickly. Rangi cake is served with a spoon of brown sugar thickened with a little starch. The name rangi cake comes from the abbreviation Digarongwangi. This is because there is a process of menggarang, which refers to the process of cooking without oil and adding charcoal from wood. Rangi cake is traditionally sold by traders who go around reading cards. Rangi cake has been around since the Dutch colonial era. This cake is the result of the development of the Betawi. Benefit: kue rangi can be considered a fairly healthy food because it has natural ingredients such as sago flour and coconut. Rangi cake contains carbohydrate which can provide energy for the body and antioxidant. Rangi is very suitable to be enjoyed with a cup of tea or coffee, especially eaten while it is still warm. Estimate price: 14,000 rupiah per portion, which usually consistent of 1 or 2 molds. Ingredients: 200 gram of grated coconut from half the coconut, 300 kg of sago flour, half tablespoon salt, 100 ml water. Brown sugar sauce ingredients: 150 gram of brown sugar combat, 100 ml water, 1 pandan leaf, 20 gram of sago flour dissolved in 2 tablespoons of water. How to make it? Brown sugar sauce. Bring water, brown sugar, and pandan leaves to a boil. Add dissolved sago flour. Stir until it bubbles and thicken slightly. Set ice. Mix grated coconut, sago flour, and salt. Pour water little by little while kneading. Add a rangi or Teflon cake mold over low heat. Pour the mixture, then close the mold. Cook over low heat until the rangi cake is cooked. Take the rangi cake and arrange it on a serving plate. Pour red sauce on top. Serve.
Pempek from Palembang. Pempek is a traditional fish cake dish from South Sumatra. Indonesia. Its primary ingredients are nut butter, Spanish marker, Cameroonese commerson, and sago starch. As a dish, pempek is usually served with a sweet and sour sauce called kuchukul, containing palm sugar, vinegar, tamarind, and chili pepper. Historically, pempek is highly influenced by Chinese cuisine. Pempek exists in different variants, most of which are widely known and available in many Indonesian cities. The variation among different types of pempek appears due to different additional ingredients, shape, filling, cooking method, and serving style.
Benefit of pempek. Eating pempek can provide many benefits for the body. The benefits are the protein from fish meat is very important for growth, repair body tissue, and also ensure immunity. Pempek also contains carbohydrates, which are a source of energy for the body. Estimate price. Pempek 1 pieces is sold at price starting from 2,000 Indonesian rupiah. How to make ingredients for the soup: 750 ml 5 chili slice, 150 gram sugar, 3 tablespoons vinegar, 100 grams noodle with 5 cloves garlic, 1 tablespoon soy sauce, 150 gram brown sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, 2 cucumber cut into cup-size slice, 150 gram dried ultra ground. For the pempek Palembang, 300 grams Spanish marker, glass of ground, 100 ml warm water, 1 teaspoon salt, 100 grams whole wheat flour, 200 grams sago palm flour, 6 eggs gotten into a bowl. Step by step. First, mix flash of fish, warm water, and extra sago palm flour and wheat flour bit by bit while blending till it is light. Secondly, type it oval about 75 gram. Make a hole in the center by point finger. Run it around while push up until it ends up being a pocket and put some raw egg in soup and close the hole firmly. Third, boil some water and put pempek one by one. White pempek till it drift and at the surface area. Take them out and dry it. For soup, first boil some water. Put in garlic, chilies, soy sauce, sugar, brown sugar, and salt. Boil them and sugar was soluble. Include vinegar and blend it. Secondly, fry pempek in much oil. Now take them out and drain when they are brownish. Boil some water. Put in garlic, chilies, soy sauce, sugar, brown sugar, and salt. Serving, cut fried pempek into bite-sized pieces and put in a plate. Secondly, include nuts and cucumber above them and pour the soup. Pempek kapal selam prepares to be profit.
Hi Rana, what are you reading? You seem very serious.
Hi all, I'm reading the news about language culture in Indonesia. Actually, it's quite complex and interesting to discuss. There are so many variants of language and dialect, and the affect our daily communication.
Yes, that's right. I often get confused when I talk to people from other regions. Sometimes the language is very different. What other causes?
In my opinion, there are several main causes. First, the diversity of tribes and culture in Indonesia. We have hundreds of tribes, each with its own language and dialect. Second, the influence of foreign language, especially English and Dutch, is quite strong. Third, the lack of awareness of the importance of using good and correct Indonesian. Many still use slang or regional language in formal situations.
Wow, that's true. So, what's the solution? We need effective communication between regions.
First, we need to improve our understanding and appreciation of the difference of language in Indonesia. It doesn't mean
mean that we have to master our regional language, but at least we have to respect and understand the context of their use. Second, we have to promote the use of good and correct Indonesian, especially in the mass media and education. Third, we can utilize technology to facilitate communication between regions. For example, with language translation application or online platform that support variant language.
Good idea. Maybe we can start from ourselves first. Try to use standard Indonesian during presentation or formal discussion.
Absolutely agree. In addition, we can also actively learn regional language. Who knows? One day we will need to communicate with clients or business partners from other regions.
That's right. Thank you, Rana, for sharing the information. I understand better now.
You're welcome, Ulu. It's nice to have a discussion with you.
Hi, Aul. How are you? Hi, Rana. I'm fine.
By the way, I want to ask, what is the cultural problem in our country?
The culture problem in Indonesia today is the loss of traditional culture to the younger generation and modern society.
What do you think is the cause of this culture problem?
The cause of this problem is the first entry of foreign culture, such as the way the younger generation dress who are starting to follow foreign cultural trends. Second, lack of awareness from the community. Third, the advancement of science and technology. Progress in the field of science and technology, such as being able to cause social inequality and give rise to individualism.
Then what is the solution so that this problem can be overcome?
The solution is the first to understand our own culture. The second is to introduce our culture to foreign countries. The third is not to be influenced by foreign culture. Not all cultural and technological developments are good for the people in our country.
Wow, that means we have to start by studying and understanding our own culture. Then, thank you for your answer, Aulia. See you later.
You're welcome, Rana. See you later. Hi, Safitri. How are you?
Hi Mela, I'm fine.
Yesterday you went to the Puppet Museum. What did you do there?
I went there to research why shadow puppets are currently less popular with the public.
It's true. What nowadays many people are less interested in puppet. In your opinion, what makes puppet less popular?
The first problem in the regional language, which in the puppet show the language as is Japanese. This makes many young generation find it difficult to understand the story and message conveyed by the puppeteer. The second is the duration of the show. The puppet show, which often lasts all night long, makes people feel bored because the duration is quite long and long. The third is the existence of other more modern entertainment such as gadgets, social media, television, or hangout with free Wi-Fi.
Wow, that's right. Then what do you think is the solution so that this problem can be overcome?
In my opinion, the solution is first with more modern facilities and infrastructure. Everyone can learn it more easily through parents, school, books, or the internet. Second, reducing the duration of the show might be one solution in this case. Of course, without
reducing the message of the story to be conveyed. Surabaya Museum Jalan Panguragan Ngapusari is one example that has reduced the duration by holding a 2-hour puppet show. Third, there needs to be an emphasis and awareness that puppetry is an original Indonesian culture. As Indonesian citizens, we are obligated to maintain and preserve it.
I think that's good idea. Thank you, Saf, for sharing for information. I understand better. Bye.
You are welcome, Mela. Glad to share information with you. Bye.
Hi Mela, long time no chat. How have you been?
Hi Rose, I'm good. Thanks. You seem like you have something on your mind.
Yeah, I've been noticing something lately. Have you seen ondel-ondel being asked for street performance? It's like a new trend now.
I have. At first, I was happy because ondel-ondel is such an awesome Betawi culture icon. But now, it's often used in inappropriate place for busking, which fell off.
Actually, sometimes it even causes traffic jams and makes people uncomfortable. I worry this might damage the cultural value of ondel-ondel. Do you have a solution?
That's why we need a solution that not just about banning, but involving everyone, government, culture, community to set clear rules. Like creating official zone for ondel-ondel performance and educating street performance about the true culture meaning.
Agreed. Educating basker is also important so they understand the meaning of this culture.
And if the ondel-ondel community actively mentor the performance, this culture and thrive in a positive way.
Then, the culture stay alive, people stay happy, and performers can still do their thing the right way. A real win-win.
Totally hopefully more people will care about our culture moving forward. Hi Rose, have you ever thought about why our generation is not into traditional culture anymore?
Yeah, I've noticed that too. It feels like people our age are more into viral trends that say going to a wayang performance. I read this stat that only 49% of the population actually takes part in cultural event. That's so low.
What? That's like nobody. No wonder people say we're at risk of a culture crisis. So what's causing all of this?
For starter, digital entertainment totally takes over. Everyone glued to screen now. Plus, school don't really integrate culture into learning. It's like just another theory in class, not something you live and breathe.
Right, and there's not enough young public figure who make traditional culture local. It's treated like a checklist in terms of a way of life. Okay, so what could we do to fix this? Any idea?
First, education need to highlight cultural identity more. Make it interactive, not just read the textbook stuff. Second, we should empower young role model, maybe collab with local creator to promote traditional arts online. And last, culture has to be part of everyday life, like using traditional elements in our style, music, or community event.
I guess in the end, it's really up to us. If we want culture to stay alive, we need to keep it moving, take it part of the how we live and express ourselves.
Totally, culture isn't just something from the past, it's
something we carry forward, and that start with simple things: posting, sharing, learning, and living it proudly.
Anyway, I'm glad we talked about this. I did not realize how serious the problem was until now.
Same here. Thanks for bringing this up. It really opened my eyes. Hopefully, more of us will care and take action.
Yeah, thank you for the info, Ros. Super useful.
Anytime. Let's keep sharing and learning. Catch you later, Mela.